morning, everyone, and happy Wednesday. It's the holiday season. As you can see, we are being a little silly this morning. Megan, you want to press my button?
Oh, I do want to press the button.
Go ahead, press my button. Oh my God, we are really being silly this morning. And I'm surprised my dog's not barking because usually this thing makes her go nuts.
I kind of want to start barking.
All right. Okay, so, we're being a little silly this morning because it's the holiday season. I guess I'll leave this on for now. Otherwise, my hair's going to look very flat. But we're actually here to talk about a very serious topic that is timely for the new year. I might have to take this off. It's going to be jiggling. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, let's go.
This is the time of year where everybody's like, oh, I got to finish up all the things I haven't done for the year. I have to look at my money. I got to check my account. All of these things that feel like should, right? And with it comes a review, what feels like a review of every mistake that you've made in the past 365 days, right? Like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. My accountant's going to see it. Oh my gosh, why did I do? I don't want anybody to see, right? Like, because I screwed up. I don't want anybody to know. Nobody likes that.
You know what? And it is funny because I always did my own bookkeeping with your help. Whenever I screw it up, you always would help me. But I actually hired a bookkeeper now. And it's funny, you get all those feelings. I know it's like, yay, but it's like, oh, they're going to see that I run some stuff through my business that maybe, they might judge me on, like something like that. And I'm like, you know what? No, these are the people I've hired and they have to understand how I run my business, my accountant and my bookkeeper. And yes, they can advise me, but I'm not going to let myself feel guilty over some of the things that I've made decisions on. Because that's not helpful.
Yeah, it's not. Like anytime that you're feeling this guilt or shame of, oh my gosh, somebody's going to see this, or I've got to answer to somebody, which you don't. This is where everybody else is talking about like money mindset. And this is where I want you to forgive yourself, because every dime that you spent had a purpose, right? Whether you intended to tell it a purpose or not. Every penny has either a lesson behind it.
That's what I was going to say.
Or, right? There's a lesson, or it went to grow your business. It went to protect your business, or it went to enjoy. Like the money was just to enjoy, right? So you might be looking at that, let's say jet ski that you kind of slipped through the company expenses there. As like, it's not shame, that's enjoyment. Like this is own it. However you spent that money, step into the power of what you did with it.
Yeah, if people do like hoard the money and afraid to spend it, and we talk about this a lot, like the money you make in your business is supposed to support your life and what you want to do in your life, not just be hoarded.
Yeah. And so like people, I think there's a slippery slope, right? Like, oh, I screwed up this one thing. It doesn't matter anymore. Throw the baby out with the bathwater. And I'm just going to go back to my old ways. And I think this is true for any habit that you're building. We are in a society that's hustle. You gotta, you should, blah, 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 blah. Just a little bit better. 1% better. And that 1% better might be looking at a transaction and going, yes, you know what I learned from that? I learned to ask this very specific question before I ever pull a trigger on something like that again. Or it might be, you know what I learned from that? Is to trust myself, because I was really nervous about this because I had never done anything like it before. And look how it turned out. Like I went with my gut that one time and look how awesome that was. Good job, gut.
It's there are the positive in the reason you spent, not the negative. Yes. If you feel like it was a mistake, you could just ruminate and dwell on that like forever. And it just locks you up.
Yeah. And so if you're finding yourself like at net zero right now, you're at below net zero, kind of dark and glum and gloomy with your money, and net zero is just like completely neutral, and above that you're happy. Like, yeah, I'm proud of how I spent my money. I'm stepping into it. If you're finding yourself below net zero right now, there are certain things that you can put into place to help you get closer and closer to net zero and then bring you back above. And one of those things is just having even a mental system. And I was just telling Nancy about this right before we got on, like having a mental system for your money before you spend it. And later you can implement something like having bank accounts that kind of dictate how you spend your money in different ways. And I always say there are 3 ways to spend your money in your business. You can spend it to grow your business, you can spend it to protect your business, and you can spend it to enjoy your business or enjoy life, really, like straight up enjoy. Like go enjoy your money. That's the point of all of this. So even if you don't have like the physical systems, the accounts, the bank accounts meant to guide your money in these directions as it comes in, there is a little mental exercise, right? I was waiting to pick up my husband last night because he had to work late at the school. And putzing around town, different shops, hopping in and out, doing some last minute Christmas shopping. And I was at Michael's and I kept on pulling things off the shelf. I'm like, maybe this would be the right thing for my sister. Maybe this will be the right thing. The thing is, I already have a present for my sister that I am so excited to give her. But everybody else has 2 and she only has 1. Right? So there was part of me like, Erin needs another present. Yeah. Erin needs something else to open because if she sees everybody else has 2 and she only has 1, she's going to be insulted, or it's not fun enough, you know? And so I kept pulling things like, would she like it? Would I like giving it to her? Like, would I be embarrassed to give it? No, I was like, hang on a second. I actually walked out the store without anything for her and I got a little something for myself, but that's okay. Because nothing that I was finding was meant for me to enjoy giving her. Right? I was not enjoying any bits of those. Like that was not a joyful way for me to spend my money because it just wasn't right. And that's okay. Right. That was okay. Yeah. So Erin's going to have 1 fewer present under their tree, but she's got a killer present. So she's got nothing to complain about.
I actually love that. And now it's making me rethink some of my Christmas presents. But it's true. Like, are you really happy about giving this to the person? And will they be happy to get it? You can't control whether they're going to be happy to get it. So I stick to, would I be happy giving it? Right. And is it worth the money to see that joy and to feel joy, you know, in giving it?
Yeah.
But I don't do that. I like the idea of doing that. And I need to do that more. And it's the same with your business, right?
Absolutely. I want to talk about the protect topic for a bit because grow is grow, right? We kind of know what it means to use money to grow your business.
Well, I mean, that's like I just invested in a high level coach, right? So I know that's going to help me grow my business or fine tune some products that I already put out there.
Exactly.
That's worth it.
Exactly. Now, there are certain things that we pay for protection and we don't want to groan about it because we forget what that money is actually doing for us. When we pay taxes and we forget that it's paying teachers and firemen and policemen and all of the things and to clear the snow off our roads because we're in the middle of another blizzard, that money is meant for our protection, for our safety, for our well-being. And the same thing goes in your business. There are certain things that you pay for that are meant to protect, whether it's your bookkeeper that does your sales tax for you, protect you from, you know, the compliance cops coming in saying, where's my money? There's protection of where you want to keep your employees happy. You're protecting yourself from losing really great employees, right? You are investing in them, not necessarily to grow your business, to go find new products or new clients, but you're protecting the systems that you've built with the people that you've trained to be in those right spots on the bus.
That makes so much sense. And so much, such a better way of looking at your spending, right? Like spending on a lawyer or contracts or things like these are all protective things.
Right.
Interesting to look at it that way. I've never really looked at it that way, to be honest with you. And I've never looked at growth. I got protect. Besides thinking of a lawyer, I really didn't think of what else that would mean. And you just gave it great definition.
Yeah, protect your systems, right? Like I'm really big on the profit growth cycle. The growth being the things that you are going, it's like external, outward, you're going out in the world and finding the demand and collecting the demand and matching it with your offers. And then you're bringing it into the profit section and you're building a system around what you know and what you have to make sure that it's building up more resources. So the next time a growth cycle comes along, you have the resources for a growth cycle, and you have resources that you get to enjoy out of your business.
And it is a
So
cycle. I make a profit, then I go, oh, let me invest in this next thing that I know is going to make my business better or make me
total
better.
cycle.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
And people can find themselves like circling the drain over on the growth side or circling the drain over on the profit side. And what happens on the growth side is that you run out of resources. It's a very resource intensive, kind of chaotic process. And on the profit side, you can optimize to death where you're missing where your clients are actually like shifting their needs and shifting what they're asking for, that you miss it because you're so focused on your internal processes. And so that's why it's a cycle. That's why you really need to build up the resources here for that growth cycle and make sure that you're protected for that.
Okay.
And the other part of protection might be like protecting your time, right? Do you have like a VA that goes through your emails for you? You have maybe a scheduling software where people can only pick very particular times. They're like, protection is a very broad.
I like it
broad.
though. I really like this lesson. It's protecting your time, protecting your sanity, protecting your company from not running as a well-oiled machine and providing good service by compensating employees or having employees or for VAs. All of this makes so much sense. And I never used the word protect. And I feel like it's so good. That's why you're a money coach. Yeah, it's a great word. When I think about all the questions my clients ask me via my business helpline, that's a great word to start using. Like, that's good use of your money because you're using it to grow or you're using it to protect your business. And of course, there's a lot of other factors as to, whether they decide to spend the money. And then the last one you always talk about is enjoy. Like, it's well spent. If you're using it to enjoy your life and your business.
Absolutely. There are so many successful, smart business people I come across, mostly women in this category that I'm going to talk about here, where they have built a beautiful, functional, great business with a great team. They're sitting on a pile of cash. And because of where they were before they built that system, that growth cycle that they were in for so long kind of builds up a too much of a protective shell that I can't pay myself. I can't enjoy my money, even though they might have $500,000 in the bank going untouched.
I know a few people like that. Yeah.
Right. They're like, it's like they almost don't know how to enjoy their money anymore because they've spent so much time in protection mode.
Right.
And in growth mode. Like, oh, there's a little off ramp here. I can go take my son on a VIP tour of Viking Stadium because I can.
Because I'm allowed to. Because it's money I've earned and I want to. Imagine that.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Oh, hold on. My system went. There's somebody spamming on YouTube.
Oh.
We're just going to ignore them because
that's
when people have nothing better to do with their life but be stupid. So we're going to ignore those comments that are coming in through YouTube. Okay, so is your money being used to grow, enjoy, or protect? Is a great checkpoint for you to see whether you're spending the money in a way that makes sense to you. Right?
Gut check.
Gut check. Okay.
I love it. And if you're finding yourself using only money for one of these or only two of these, rebalance it. Just make that conscious, like, okay, for the last 2 weeks, every time I've spent money, I've said to myself, oh, this is for growth. This is for growth. And I've never said anything the last 2 weeks for protect or enjoy. Maybe I need to go back and take another look.
I like this. This is a great way to start out the new year. Think about before you spend the money, what you're spending it for, and whether it's bringing you one of those things. If you're just joining now, we're talking about how if you're using your money to grow, protect, or enjoy your business or your personal self, your life, it might be a good use of the money. But then how do you figure out the next step? Like, do you have enough money?
Okay, now this gets into like the whole growth profit paradox thing, right? Like where we are laying out our options and we are looking down the road as to, okay, if X is an option and Y is an option and Z is an option. What are the different routes that each of this can go? And this is a much, much longer discussion.
I know.
Yeah. That's actually a whole nother thing, workshop that's coming up. But yes, that is the perfect question to be asking, because that question, depending on where you're at, there is a worst case scenario where I've actually talked to a couple people in the last couple of weeks that are like, do I need to go get a job? And while I'm not going to answer that for them, we can definitely map things out and see how things are looking for the next 3 to 6 months so they can answer that for themselves.
Yes. Where's the starting point? I love your growth profit paradox, which was our last live discussion. So if anyone wants to see that, go to my YouTube channel, or my Facebook page has that. And this group has it, and LinkedIn. We're streaming everywhere, as we did last time. Talk a little bit about your growth profit, am I saying it? Growth profit paradox, and how they can go to your site and answer like 3 or 4 questions and find out where in their business cycle they are, whether they're in the growth cycle or the profit cycle.
Yeah, so this has been a huge breakthrough for my clients in the last couple of weeks. We are able to really get to the guts of their issues really quickly now with this little quiz. And you can go to growth versus profit, growthvsprofit.com, and take a 3-question quiz. You don't need to know any numbers. You don't need to get any data. There's nothing like you have to look up in order to answer any of these quizzes. It's literally what you know about your business, because everybody knows these 3 things about your business. And what it does is that it shifts your mindset to, wait a second, am I trying to use growth strategies when my business really needs profit strategies right now? Or am I using profit strategies when I've been really actually needing growth strategies? It's interesting that it really aligns with personality types as well.
It does?
What people are finding, yeah. Are you familiar with Traction, right? Like the implementer, the implementer and the visionary.
Yes.
Visionaries love to spend time over in growth, and implementers love to spend time over in profit. So they get stuck on one side or the other, not completing the whole business cycle. So their business suffers. And so that's what the growth profit paradox is meant to do, is to kind of shake you out of like, oh yeah, I really love the growth side. Okay, let's go to profit and let's see what I can do over there. Right.
Right.
Get you out of your habits and go get the thing that would actually make a huge difference in your business.
So people who are accumulating money, go take the quiz. People who don't have enough money, go take the quiz. If you think you have enough money and you're not sure where your business is in the growth cycle or the profit cycle, go take the quiz and it will show you. And I have actually been using your quiz, because you're one of my team, to lead my clients as well. Like, let's see. And they're all like, oh, like, this is fantastic. This is a quiz everyone should take. Everyone should take, just for the fun of it alone. And then you can learn even more by getting on Megan's calendar. Correct?
Yeah. Yep, absolutely. And I even have people who are using it for their own marketing purposes right now, right? Because they can put their clients into buckets like, oh, I can better tailor my products to my clients because I know what they really need.
Oh, I didn't even think of that. Okay.
Yep.
All the growth people in one spot and all the profit cycle people in another spot. Interesting.
Yep.
Okay. Very interesting. Another piece of information. It's really very much, now you tie it to the personality of the person, which is interesting, right? I know some of my clients, which we're trying to push them out of it, are, saving boatloads of money in their business account. And I'm like, pay yourself, hire, make your life better by providing services that are going to make you feel calmer and live a more balanced life. Like these are the uses for your money. This is why you're making money. And people just get so stuck.
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay. So one piece of advice for the new year, go take the quiz and find out if you're in a growth cycle or profit cycle. Am I saying that right?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. And make a decision for the new year to stick to one or the other. Once you take that quiz, get on Megan's calendar to talk about it and figure out where you stand and what you should do next. It's important to start the new year with clarity. I have changed my bookkeeper, my accountant, some of my systems are changing, and we're planning for next year. I already feel like it's December of 2023 because I know exactly what we're doing for the whole year, at the high level planning. And now we
Yes.
have to break it down to the smaller to-dos and see how much we can actually get done while managing our clients. Just like everyone who's listening, you're all managing your clients, but you're also managing businesses and the growth and the profit of your business. So that really screws a lot of people up too, that they have to have enough time for both sides.
I've actually started putting 2023 on checks and letters now. I'm like, oh man, no, still 2022.
I know. I did that yesterday. I was like, oh, 2023. So, all right, that's our topic for today. So if you need to think a little bit more about your money mindset and how you're getting ready for 2023, and you're just tuning in now, go back and listen. This was an amazing lesson and a real good way of people to view their money for 2023 and forgive themselves for anything they feel like they screwed up in 22, which is how we started. And
Giving yourself that grace is huge, huge. Grace.
Absolutely.
Grace.
All right, so we're gonna sign off again with my hat. And by the way, Megan, did you know that I got engaged?
Oh! Congratulations!
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, that's so great.
I know you're not
That's
on
so
Instagram that much, and that's why I put it on my Instagram stories. But
I'm not. Okay. He's gonna have
now
to
we
come
have a
to the
lot to
next
celebrate.
ideas.
We have even more to celebrate than normal. So you ready? All right, everyone. This is our last Money Mindset live for the year. I hope you enjoyed them. If you need more information about it, go over to the YouTube channel. You can watch all of Megan and I's lives. And let's go and say happy holidays to everyone. You ready? Want to press my button?
I'm ready. I do. Ding.
All right. Goodbye, everyone. Have a great holiday season, and we'll see you next year. Bye.
Happy holidays.